What's good? It's Extreme Caution here. Today I'm going to go over my official WWE Crown Jewel prediction. I'm going for every match of the card, what I think of every single match, what I think of the build, what I can think leading to after every single match. If you like daily wrestling content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because I upload daily wrestling content. I'm going to jump straight into the predictions. The first match I'm going to start off with is John Cena versus AJ Styles. This match has not got really any build, mainly due to John Cena's limited dates. This match ended up becoming a thing due to the fans. Apparently, that's what WWE says. So we're getting the match. I'm just thankful for the match. I wasn't really expecting a build because John Cena only has 5 dates. And I even said this, like, if you want John Cena's 5 dates to matter, you kind of just have to just shoehorn it. You kind of just got to put him in random matches. You can't really have him have actual build towards any of his matches because he doesn't have many dates. So you would just be wasting a day to build a match where you really don't need to be honest. It's John Cena retirement tour. We're going to be invested either way. I'm excited for the match. I'm excited to see how this plays out. I'm assuming John Cena wins this match. I just don't see a reason why he should lose, especially off of him losing to Brock Lesnar. I'm assuming they're going to pick that back up. I honestly don't want them to go back to that. But if they do go back to it, I understand why. So John Cena picking up the victory makes total sense. It makes sense for him to win the match if they are going to go back to that Brock Lesnar feud, which I don't want them to go back to, but if they do go back to it, it makes sense. Plus, this doesn't really do anything for AJ. There's really not a reason for AJ to win this match, to be honest with you, because he's not really doing anything. He's in this weird feud with the Judgment, well, with the Grande Americanos, but he's also feuding with the Judgment Day. It's very weird. He's kind of all over the place. There's really no direction with AJ right now, so there's really no reason for him to win this match. So I think John Cena will pick up the victory here, and they'll probably have like a standing ovation with the two, embracing each other. That's really it. Who would John Cena next challenger be? Who knows? We're mainly just wondering who's going to be his final opponent. That's the main thing we're all wondering. So I'm interested in the match. Should be a good match. I'm excited to see how this plays out, but I think John Cena will pick up the victory. Next match we have is Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed in an Australian street fight. Um, this match right here, it was made last minute on Monday Night Raw. Very interested that they went with this route. I thought it was going to be a 6-man tag match, but very interested that they went back to Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns. Now, I'm going to go with Roman here because I just don't see a reasoning why Bronson Reed would win this match. And I'm a bit confused on why they're doing this because they had Roman win the first match, but now they're adding the stipulation of a street fight and they end up claiming that Bronson Reed has never lost a street fight. I just feel like it would have been better if Bronson Reed won the first match, which would have obviously gave more hype towards this match because Roman would need to get his win back and you're putting him in the stipulation that Bronson Reed doesn't lose it. I feel like it would have just made more sense, but they went with the other route for whatever reason. I think they're just going to have Roman go 2-0. I just don't see a reasoning why they would have Bronson Reed win this match unless they're doing a third match, but you're already doing a street fight for this stipulation. So I'm assuming this is the last match. This is the blow-off match. So I'm assuming that Roman will pick up the victory here. I just don't see a reason why you would have Roman win the first match, then make the second match a street fight, which is typically a stipulation that you want to end a feud on, and have him lose. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think this is just the build towards maybe War Games. I don't know if Roman will be in the War Games match, but I could see him being in the War Games match going after Seth Rollins. So interested to see where this goes. I think this will be a fun match due to it being a street fight, but I have Roman Reigns picking up the victory. Now we got a women's tag match between the Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I like what they've been doing with the storyline. The storyline of Asuka being this over jealous person of Io Sky relationship with Rhea Ripley, constantly controlling and playing mind games of Kairi Sane being manipulated and can't make decisions on her own. I like what they're doing here. I love the story. The acting is very over the top and very terrible, but that's kind of what makes the storyline good, is that it's so over the top and so terrible between Io Sky and Kairi mainly that it makes it enjoyable. Now this one is very interesting because I could see them going both ways. Logically speaking, it should be Asuka and Kairi winning this match. The Kabuki Warriors should be winning. But the problem is they're kind of running a similar format that they're doing with the Damian Priest and Aleister Black, where the heel is constantly winning every single time in every interaction. These past few weeks on Raw, the Kabuki Warriors has constantly stood tall. So that's giving me the vibe that they're not going to win on Crown Jewel, which is the match that they should be winning. Because when I look at what can happen next, The next thing is obviously War Games, because I think this feud will go towards War Games. And the women don't have a War Game story unless you add the Kabuki Warriors into that mix. So if you're going to add the Kabuki Warriors as a part of the War Games match, you kind of need to have them be kind of built strong here. Now, the only issue is that they're not going to win cleanly. Of course, they're going to win by cheating. But I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky here. I just don't see a world where they have Rhea lose in our home country, because this is in Australia. I just have a hard time seeing her win. Shoot, they gave her a main event pay-per-view. In our home country. So it's like I just have a hard time believing that they're gonna have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, by the way, lose in, like, I just have a hard time believing in it, in my opinion, especially with the Kabuki Warriors constantly standing tall after every Monday Night Raw. I just have a hard time believing that. So I'm going to Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, even though logically speaking, storyline wise, it should be the Kabuki Warriors to build them up, because I really feel like this is probably going to be some part of War Games as well, because the women do not have a War Games match unless you add in the Kabuki Warriors in it. So if you want to have them look strong, they kind of need to win this match, but I think Io Sky and Rhea Ripley will win. They will probably just get their heat back by just attacking them after the match or attack them on Monday Night Raw. But I have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky picking up the victory. The next match, we get champion versus champion between Stephanie McMahon and Tiffany Stratton. The women's world heavyweight champion, Stephanie McMahon, and Tiffany Stratton, the WWE women's champion. This is very interesting. Now, most people are going with Stephanie McMahon because that's the person that they want to win. And it does make sense because she is a new champion, so it makes sense for her to pick up the victory. Now, on the other hand, they've been telling this story of Tiffany Stratton where she constantly proves the doubters wrong, and she overcomes every obstacle. Now, if Stephanie wins, you can't really tell that story. Now, you could tell a new story of Tiffany not knowing how to take the loss and that start messing with her head. But the problem is, I don't know when Tiffany is going to lose that title. And honestly, I could see her holding it until Royal Rumble. So it's because, like, unless Bianca Belair is coming back anytime soon, I don't know when she's going to lose that title. And Stephanie, people are going to say it affects her if she loses. I really don't think it affects her that much if she loses. I think people are overreacting. Because let's be honest, like losing a crown jewel match, it could kind of affect you, but not really. Like, it didn't affect Nia Jax when she lost to Liv Morgan. It did it. It didn't affect Gunther when he lost to Cody Rhodes. So I think people are over exaggerating. Now, to be fair, she is a new champion, so that kind of plays a factor. But I think she'll be fine. Now, one thing to keep in mind with crown jewel matches is that based off last year, they typically do 1-1. They typically have one Raw person win and one SmackDown person win. So based off that logic, and based off who I'm going to pick in the next match, I'm actually going to go with Tiffany Stratton here. Yes, I am going to go with Tiffany Stratton, the unpopular take. But I think Tiffany Stratton is going to win. I think they're going to continue with this undefeated streak that she's going on and constantly continue to prove the doubters wrong. I think she's going to win this match. And I think Stephanie McMahon is going to lose. I don't know what you do with Stephanie McMahon afterwards, because I don't know what heel that she could possibly face on Monday Night Raw, to be honest. Because the Kabuki Warriors are busy with Io Sky and Rhea, unless they're going to have them go after the title. But I just assume that Io Sky and Rhea would just cost her the title, so I don't see that. You have Bayley, but she's mixed in with Lyra. Becky Lynch is in the IC title picture. So to be honest with you, I really don't see what is next for Stephanie as a world champion, to be honest with you. So I don't know what's next. Tiffany, after this, she would just continue to feud with Jade Cargill and Nia Jax. We already know where that's going. But I have Tiffany Stratton picking up the victory. I think the match will be a banger, so interested to see how that plays out. But I think Tiffany will be your new women's crown jewel champion. Now we get the main event. Well, I'm assuming it's the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. The story they've been telling writes itself of Cody Rhodes constantly having the advantage and constantly has Seth Rollins' number, winning 3-0. And the story they're telling is Seth Rollins trying to prove that he is the guy of the company. He's the face of the company. He's the guy that's going to lead the future of WWE, and that, you know, his vision and his faction is the top guys in WWE. And they're also telling the story of what happens with Seth Rollins and his faction, of if he loses this match, that he's going to lose everything. The vision ain't going to look at him as the leader. They're not going to look at his vision as the right way. Paul Heyman potentially can start looking at Seth Rollins' side. I like what they're doing. I love the story they're telling here. This is why I went with Tiffany Stratton to win, because I think Seth Rollins from Raw is going to pick up the victory here. Now, how does Seth Rollins win this match? I do not know. But if you're going, because this is definitely going to build towards War Games, because Seth Rollins is the only faction that makes sense to build towards War Games, and you need to have them look strong. There's no way you're about to tell me that Seth Rollins is about to lose this match, because I already think Bronson is going to lose against Roman. So you're going to have division lose twice. I just don't see that. Because typically what WWE does, they typically have one or two things happen. They typically have either Seth Rollins wins in the main event and the division lose early in the show, or division wins earlier in the show and Seth Rollins lose. It's one or the other. They typically never have division lose twice on a PLE. They always have them win one and lose once. So I think Seth Rollins will get the get back of Bronson, of course, losing. So this would be the victory here. How does he win? I don't know. He's going to win by some type of shenanigans. It's going to be something. He's not winning cleanly. I'm telling you that now. Or if he does win cleanly, it's going to be a clean victory where Cody gets distracted or the referee. It's going to be some involvement that way. Because they're not going to have Cody lose straight up. Cody doesn't lose clean. He doesn't lose straight up. Cody is invincible. So they're going to do something to protect Cody. Every time Cody has lost, it's either by some cheating. Yeah, every time Cody lost is by cheating. Solo won cheating. Drew McIntyre won by interference. Roman won. Yeah, every time Cody has got pinned, he's always lost due to some type of cheating. Outside of maybe The Rock, where that wasn't really cheating. It was just basically just no disqualification. So I have Seth Rollins winning, and I think that is the correct choice. If you want to build up the division, if you want them to be the dominant faction that the baby faces have to overcome, you kind of need Seth Rollins to win this match. And plus, Seth Rollins can be super obnoxious, constantly brag about him beating Cody, how he's the top guy, he proved it. It's a very easy story to tell, to be honest. What you do with Cody afterwards? Randy Orton, which I don't think they're going to do. They're probably going to do a bunch of teases over and over again for the 50 millionth time with Randy looking at the title on SmackDown, to be honest with you. But I'm actually excited for Crown Jewel. I think it'll be a solid pay-per-view. You guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions. Leave your predictions down below in the comment section. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.